Any mention for unlisted matter? Any mention for unlisted matter? From the main list, item number 1.
Yes. What is this matter? Who is for the state?
Lordship, Mrs. Sahai will be reading the matter, Lordship.
Yes. Mr. Sahai seems to be sleeping.
My apologies, Lordship. The screen did not show the code. Lordship, I appear on behalf of the state government.
Yes, what is the matter about?
The issue, Lordship, is concerning the power of the state government, whether the state government could have amended certain terms and conditions on which it gives grants to the deficit grant and aid colleges in the state.
Oh, on which? What? Your audio is not, just adjust your audio, please. Bring the mic closer to you or something.
My apologies, just.
Yeah.
Lordship, am I audible now?
Yes, better, not completely clear, but better.
Lordship, the issue is whether the state government had the power to amend the terms and conditions on which it gives grants to deficit colleges in the state. The specific amendment that was carried out by the state was in respect of the right of the employees of the deficit colleges to stand for elections. So that became a matter and issue before the writ court. The writ court has gone into the issue slightly on a divergent aspect of whether it constituted an office of profit or not. But my respectful submission before my lordships would be that these are executive instructions whereby the state government delimits on what terms and conditions it would be giving the grant to the colleges. One of those conditions was that an employee which was otherwise permitted to participate in elections under the old position as it were, would now no longer be permitted if the college were to proceed to avail the grant from the state government. So the only difference
What is the reason?
Lordship,
what is the objective? What larger interest do you you know, want to achieve or wish to serve by that?
Lordship, firstly, the restriction is not just on teaching staff, but it is a restriction that we would have enforced against all employees. It is aimed essentially at creating a politics, or a educational institution should not be made a den of, or should not be made a center of political activities so far as.
Don't think you curb the freedom of choice of a citizen to indulge in politics. Politics is not money laundering, though politics may have become a bad word now in the present context, but politics is not. If educated people, people who are in the position of teachers, if they do not participate in the decision-making process, what's the history of India about?
I quite see that, Lordship, and that is why the issue before my Lords is rather narrow. Whether the terms and conditions on which the government gives the grant to these deficit colleges can at all be regulated or not.
It has no nexus. It has no nexus. This condition has no nexus with the purpose of the grant. The purpose of the grant is to promote education, which is an obligation of the state, and to tie it to anyone, as you say, staff, a peon could be wanting to stand. That's the pride that we take. Look at the presidential elections. How many times, odd candidates have stood. Now, of course, it's been made very expensive. The deposit is quite expensive, and therefore, but previously, look at the number of times ordinary citizens have run for that office. And that's the choice that the Indian citizen has. How can you curb it? How can you penalize a college by refusing it aid because one of its employees wants to, and by the way, even without standing for election, they can indulge in politics.
Lordship, I quite see that, but the difficulty.
You don't have to be a card-holding member of any party to indulge in politics.
Lordship, I'll indicate from the executive instruction themselves what the position was and how it has in fact changed by way of the amendment. I'll also place before my Lords, because these rules were construed by a constitution bench of the Honorable Supreme Court, these precise rules. And that judgment, Lordship, it was held that there is no legal right in favor of any of the teachers to in fact come to challenge such an executive instruction, because those executive instructions are in fact operating only as a condition of the grant, and that once it cannot be questioned that it is within the competence of the state, these very rules, Lordship.
Let us see the judgment. Let us see the judgment.
Lordship, I'll place the compilation before my Lords.
Yes.
But before that, if Lordship would have the benefit of seeing the instructions themselves.
Where is that?
Lordship will find the earlier position was at page 42. That is the instructions as they existed prior to the impugned amendment. Lordship finds definition of employee at point number 1 at page 42.
Yes.
Then Lordship will find the restriction in relation to right to offer himself as a candidate for election. That's at 46. Rule number 6.
Yes. So it expressly permitted standing for election and
Lordship.
and also for holding office in any political organization or local bodies. Holding office is not membership, so there was no problem in one being a member and holding office as long as that. And now what is the amended?
That Lordship will find at 86, but straight away from this, at this page only, if Lordship stays, what has been done is, except in accordance with provisions of Rule 7, these words have been removed from Rule 6.
And Rule 7 has been deleted.
Rule 7 has been deleted and proviso to Rule 6 has been deleted.
Very well.
Now, Lordship, before we go to the judgment, Lordship will also just see the writ petition filed, because the writ petition was filed on the premise that this is a restriction on the right of the teachers themselves to participate in the election, and that it incurs no disqualification of an office of profit.
Yes, let us see the judgment.
Lordship. Lordship finds the first judgment in this compilation, page 1. And Lordship will have para 3. The facts are set out in paragraph 3.
Where do we find Rule 7?
Lordship, para 12 then is the consideration of the main issue that fell for
Where
consideration.
is Rule 7? No, where is Rule 7?
Rule 7 is quoted at page 4, Lordship.
Page 4.
Top of the page.
Rule 7 which is mentioned. An employee desiring to seek election, resident or the holder of local body shall be in common with from the date of filing of his nomination till the date or till termination. What are you saying? This is the previous Rule 6. It gave it subject to that condition, and now they are prohibiting it.
Now, as to the nature of these rules, Lordship, the consideration is at paragraph 11. Because what the court holds is that since they have no statutory force, Lordship will just for a moment have para 12.
No. The issue that comes up over here is not covered by this judgment. No. Anything else?
Lordship will also find at top of page 7, the line following from the bottom of page 6. That is, however, a matter between the government and the private colleges concerned.
Yes.
Lordship.
And then what is the other judgment?
Lordship, I'm so sorry to say, but the audio is not clear. If Lordship may have it next week, I'll be there physically because there is some issue with the audio. I can't hear the Honorable Court clearly. I've in fact messaged my colleague over there.
The moment the weather goes against you, audio becomes bad.
Lordship would not see it as me trying to fight for another chance, but this is genuinely, I cannot hear the court.
You'll read us.
Any day.
You'll be able to read us. You need not hear us. Very good. Since Counsel for the
On the
State
27th, not in
Kamal, let the matter stand over for a week. 1 week. Stand over for a week. Yes. We will strike it down. All right? It's completely arbitrary, has no nexus with the purpose of granting aid, and creates fetters on the right of an Indian citizen to participate in an election. Cannot be tolerated. Yes.
Item number 2.
My Lord, on the last order, last order dated 14/3/2023, my Lord has asked me to produce some documents
Yes.
pertaining to that plot of land, my Lord, that 5
Yes.
wicket ground. My Lord, we have applied for the copies.
Very well.
My Lord,
You're for the respondents?
I am for respondent number 4 and 5. If I can make a small submission, my Lord.
Yes.
My Lord, this pertains to that plot of land, my Lord is aware. So, my Lord, from the record itself, my Lord, the plot can be very well identified, my Lord, if I can take your Lordship through the
No,
record.
that's all right, but we won't grant time. Once you start, we won't grant time thereafter.
Your Lordship, here on behalf of the petitioner, Your Lordship, my senior has been trying to connect through VC, but apparently the connectivity is not good. Your Lordship, we've submitted.
What is wrong with the connectivity?
Your Lordship, we've submitted the paper documents that need.
No, we saw him,
Yes,
and
Your
it said he left.
Yes, Your Lordship. He's at the moment traveling, Your Lordship, and he's trying to connect. That's why,
So
Your
the
Lordship.
problem is at his end, not at our end.
Yes, Your Lordship. So not at your end, Your Lordship. It's from his end. Your Lordship, we've submitted the paper documents that needs to be submitted from the petitioner's side. We've submitted today, Your Lordship.
Very well.
My Lord, if a copy may be served to us. Also.
Yes.
Yes.
Since the petitioner wants to rely on some papers, now since the appellant wants to rely on some papers, the appellant is permitted to file a supplementary affidavit incorporating the documents that the appellant wishes to rely on, full stop. A copy of such supplementary affidavit should be forwarded to the state, copies of such supplementary affidavit should be forwarded to all the respondents 2 days before the matter is taken up next, full stop. The matter will appear a fortnight hence. Similarly, if you want to rely on anything, use a supplementary affidavit and serve it on them. We'll accept it.
Yes, ma'am. Oblige, ma'am.
Oblige, Your Lordship.
Item number 3.
We have filed the affidavit bringing on record the factum of service, my Lord.
Sorry?
We have filed the affidavit bringing on record the factum of service, my Lord, affected on respondent number 3 to 14. 1 and 2 are stayed in this.
Who are you appearing for, Mr. General?
Lordship, paying for 7, 10 and 13, private response.
Yes. What is the matter about?
Here, my Lord, we have challenged the constitution of a Waqf board.
Of a Waqf board?
Waqf board, my Lord. Here, by virtue of certain notification, my Lord, a Waqf board was constituted, my Lord.
So the commissioner is a party?
CEOs. No, CEO is a party. The Waqf board itself is a party in this matter, my Lord.
And you are appealing for the private parties?
For the private parties, the members of the board.
Members of the?
Of the board.
Of the board.
Yes, madam.
And
CEO is a party in this matter, my Lord.
why don't you help serve the other parties?
Lordship, I believe some of them have received the notice, but this was received late yesterday.
Since service is not complete on all the parties, let the matter appear 10 days hence. An affidavit of service should be filed.
It's been filed, my Lord.
No. Affidavit of service, what you filed is dispatch. All right? The word dispatch and service mean two different things.
Correct, my Lord. Correct.
You can file an affidavit of service the moment you have dispatched it. That's not an affidavit of service.
Lord.
It's dispatch.
Correct.
An affidavit of service should be filed evidencing service on all the respondents.
Lord.
That was interesting. That could have been finished today. Election matter, yes.